Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to welcome back Congressman Greg Walden. Congressman, good to see you.
Greg, good to be back with you.
Thank you for coming. So let's start with the fires. I'm sure you've been briefed on. A 36,000 plus acre Oregon Gulch fire, the largest in our region, burning southeast of Ashland. Many others, as you know, burning in the area. Can the state expect any federal assistance?
Well, the state's getting a lot of federal assistance, and in fact, there's about $700 million still available for wildfire fighting in the fund. I put together a briefing today with the Region 6 Forest Supervisor, the State of Oregon Forest Head, as well as BLM. And I asked the question, are you being asked to transfer funds out of other accounts yet? And they said, no, not yet. So we're still okay where we're at. Obviously, we need to change how we fund both fire prevention and firefighting. But more importantly, we need to change the law so we get in and prevent these fires to the extent we can by more active forest management.
Talking about timber, we're still looking for a long-term solution there. How far are we away from finding that solution?
We're waiting for the Senate. The House, on a bipartisan basis, as you know, has passed legislation to allow us to have more active management on our federal forest lands, our O&C lands, generate revenues, generate jobs, reduce the threat of wildfire. Beyond that, in the Farm Bill, we got some provisions in I've worked on for years to do more active treatment after the fire, and those will be taken advantage of by the Forest Service. That came out of the meeting I had today. So we're giving them some new tools. That's a good thing, but there's so much more that needs to be done to free up really smart, active management of our federal forests, and to do the kind of pre-work like's being done in the Ashland watershed as a result of the Healthy Forest Restoration Act, which I helped write and pass years ago, that brings together in a collaborative basis everybody from KS Wild to the Forest Service to the city of Ashland, and they go through and they're trying to do the right thing, which is make that watershed more healthy, so when fire does hit, it's more manageable.
All right, very good. We're going to take a quick break. Much more with Congressman Walden in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Congressman Greg Walden. Congressman, yesterday we saw the 7th straight NBC Wall Street Journal poll showing Congress's approval level is below 15%. That's 7 straight polls in the last 4 years. We've seen that. What are you doing to find compromise and get us out of this gridlock? Well,
actually, we've passed a lot of legislation across the House floor unanimously in some cases, like our legislation on Bowman Dam, twice passed unanimous in the House within 500 days. It's kind of locked up over in the Senate. Our bipartisan forestry bill. Peter DeFazio and I and Kurt Schrader worked it through the House, got a big bipartisan vote. I've had communications legislation pass the House both unanimously and on big bipartisan votes. So I really think you sit down and work with people and try and work out to the differences to the extent you can, and then move forward. That's what Americans expect.
You sound very positive when I ask the question.
Yeah.
Is it just coming at it from our perspective, the big national issues that the two sides seem to be butting
and let's face it, there are strongly held positions on each side. And if you're on the this side or that side, you're not expected to give up your principles. People do expect us to get the job done, and we certainly did that when it came to the VA. We busted this bureaucracy and the way it's lied to the American people and not taking care of our veterans. We passed bipartisan legislation that opens up better treatment for our veterans in a more timely basis and put some accountability in the bureaucracy that was lying to the veterans, lying to the American people, and lying to Congress.
How do you, as a politician, balance loyalty to your party and its goals while also being true to your constituents? You
know, you try and do what's right. You realize that there are teams back there, sort of red and blue or whatever you want to say, as there is in any business or anything you're involved in. At the end of the day, though, if you're trying to do the right thing for the right reasons, you end up getting to a better place.
Okay. Will you find a compromise on the immigration crisis?
I hope so. The House has passed a bill that provides the funding necessary to allow the National Guard to be called up and paid for to secure our borders, that treats other unaccompanied minors like we do either Mexican or Canadian minors today, and allows for them to be reunited with their families back in their home countries quicker. And I think we can get there. The Senate, as you know, couldn't pass anything and left town. We had our own set of problems, but we stayed until we got the job done, and we passed legislation. It's now over in the Senate. They actually need to come back and make it work.
Yeah, and they've said, and the president has said they're not going to support the House.
Well, then send us something they can work out with the House. I mean, that's the thing. We got an emergency humanitarian crisis on the border. We have a border security crisis on the border. And, you know, just saying, well, we won't agree with the House doesn't really solve that problem. We figured out a way to work through a bipartisan bill that passed the House, is sitting over the Senate, that is funded, including taking back some of the foreign aid to those countries to pay for more security here since they're not doing the job there. and deal with this issue. But we have a serious border security problem. A lot of us have said that for a long time. When you've got as many unaccompanied minors coming across the border, you have more of them than live in the entire population of Bend, Oregon. They're expecting 90,000 kids to cross the border. And then this administration is just taking like 1,000 of them recently out to Cape Cod and say, okay, they're in your community now. Your schools in September are in charge of educating them. And the school systems are saying, how do we do that? Can you imagine if 1,000 kids showed up here unaccompanied and put into the school system here, and the administrators were told in September, you take them? We got to work this thing through. And first thing we need to do is secure the border.
Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Good to be with you.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back.